Welcome the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Devin Nunes. Mr. Chairman, in June of 2015, when you and I talked, you said you thought we were at the highest threat level we had ever faced. Is that what's your feeling about that now?
I think we're even worse today. I think the threat level is even higher because the radical Islamic problem, whether it's ISIS or Al Qaeda, they continue to add followers. So even though ISIS is having problems controlling some territory within Syria and Iraq, they've spread globally now. They've moved fighters into Europe, where our allies are having considerable problems. If you notice on just over the weekend, both the German government and the French government came out publicly and said that they are concerned about the numbers of fighters there in the country. So the Al-Qaeda, what Al-Qaeda started on September 11th, 2001, continues to metastasize, and I'm concerned that we're not paying close enough attention to the growth of radical jihadism globally. And
is that concern a geographical concern, or do you feel about in America? I mean, obviously we've seen homegrown, the kind of allure of joining up with ISIS, even if you're just a lone wolf. Is that what worries you?
Well, I think when you look at the lone wolf question, a lot of times they will get younger people that have issues, and they're more susceptible to the radicalization over the internet. But I think there's another problem, and that is that Al-Qaeda is very, very good at seeding people in and waiting. They're very patient. So if you notice when ISIS kind of broke off of Al-Qaeda, merged with some of the old Saddam Ba'athist loyalists to put this, what they call their caliphate, together, Al-Qaeda is much more patient. So, you know, Zawahiri is still out there. He's bin Laden's number 2. They're spreading, you know, globally very, very slowly. Zawahiri came out on also just in the last few days and issued a statement, public statement. And I think he's going to continue to do that. So we just don't know where these guys are hiding. And it's hard to track them because of encryption now on the internet. It's not as easy as what it once was a decade ago.
If moving on to Russia, do you think they're trying to influence U.S. elections?
Well, I think Russia is very good at influencing elections, and they do it all over the world. You know, it wouldn't surprise me that they try to do it here. It wouldn't surprise me that they try to break into the DNC and the RNC. And I think we just shouldn't panic that the Russians would try to do this, because they always try to do it. They try to do it all over the globe. They try to do it in Ukraine. Would they try to do it here? Absolutely. If you leave your computers vulnerable, they're going to try to get in and get information off of there, and not just the Russians, Chinese and others.
But I guess what I'm trying to figure out is there kind of a broad sense they might do it, or is there any specific sense in your mind that they are actively trying to do it, separate and apart from their general making?
Well, I think this is where we don't know, and I think we have to be very careful because we don't want to panic the American people. Like as you said, generally speaking, the Russians are probably the number one service around the globe that tries to influence elections. But other nation states try to do it too. So they're always trying to do it. Now, is that anything different this time? Is there, do they have more information that they've had in previous elections? It's possible. But at the same time, I have confidence in our system, and I think that the elections will be free and fair, and as long as there's a paper trail, if there is any issue, we'll get to the bottom of it.
Donald Trump said that he thought Vladimir Putin was a better leader than Barack Obama. Do you have a view on that?
Well, it's you know, the refreshing thing about Donald Trump is that he's a first-time candidate. And first-time candidates, when they do interviews with folks like yourself, they can easily get tripped up. But when you look at, let's take what Putin has done, right? Barack Obama said he wanted to work with Putin. Secretary Kerry's working with Putin right now. Hillary Clinton set the reset button. George W. Bush said he saw into Putin's soul. So we want to be friends with the Russians. The problem is that Putin just doesn't seem to be a guy that we can trust.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we're going to have to leave it there. We're out of time. Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.